Welcome, boys and girls, men and women. Today we are all a little bit more religious because we are talking about the seven deadly sins. No, not the weeb version, and also not the religious version. Today we're talking about the seven deadly sins of the gym goer, of you. So we are going to be delving into the seven deadly sins of the lifter. The first one is perhaps one of the most offensive sins and is one which you may well have been guilty of committing over the course of your time in the gym, and that is unpreparedness, not being prepared for the gym. Firstly, in a physical sense, as in you haven't eaten properly, you haven't hydrated, you haven't prepped your food, perhaps you're staying up too late watching the final season of a vampire documentary on Netflix. Possibly you're up too late finding out the most important information on Google, such as if I was a penguin, what type of penguin would I be at 2 o'clock in the morning, etc., etc. And finally, in the physical sense, and that is to do with hygiene. For some people who I've come across in the gym from about 10 yards away, they do seem to believe that deodorant or a hot shower is the work of a devil. So please spare the rest of us and let's all just enjoy a less pungent atmosphere in the gym if we can, please. Next sin is that of pride. We've all been there. Keep adding weight to the bar. I'm sure I can get this progression. I'm sure I can get this extra rep, this extra pound on the bar. So I'm just going to give it a bit of elbow grease, a bit of body English. No. Actually, I'm just going to swing the bar up as best I can. So, pride is the next sin. Are you guilty of putting more weight on the bar than you can handle in that moment and just cheating it up, looking around, see if anybody would notice, and getting away with it? Writing down in your training diary 6 clean reps. We're all guilty of it. You want to keep that in check. The next sin is not being prepared. Okay. Not being prepared as in not knowing what you're going to hit, not knowing what you're going to train, maybe not what exercise you're going to do, maybe even as heinous as knowing what body parts you're going to hit on that day. Fail to plan is plan to fail. Make sure you've got some kind of plan. Be prepared when you enter the gym. Next sin is tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is to do with being aware of things around the gym. Not just things, but also your fellow man, your fellow human, your fellow woman. Example of this most heinous sin of tunnel vision is taking a dumbbell out of the dumbbell rack and then just standing in front of the rack, face to face with the mirror, blocking off about 6 pairs of dumbbells so nobody can get into the set until you're finished. Or doing the same thing on the barbell rack, for example. Or grabbing a piece of equipment, just going in front of the mirror and standing there blocking off about 5 people. No. Take the weights, step back. Be aware of who else is in the gym. Second point of awareness is bumping into people in the gym. Luckily, I haven't been a victim of this too much myself, but every now and again you do see some videos online of people bumping into other people while they're lifting. Be aware of where people are, but also be aware of your body size. If you are on the larger size, just be aware your circumference may need an extra bit of space. The next sin is sloth. Pigrizia. It is the opposite of unpreparedness. Unpreparedness is not being ready on the way in. Sloth is not being ready on the way out. What I mean by that is not putting away your weights. The most cardinal of sin, if you were to talk to any gym owner, that is, put your weights away. Don't have a disinterest in leaving things the way they were when you first arrived. Do your best for the community and for your fellow lifter to make it a pleasant experience, along with the rest of these things. The next sin is one that we have all done at some point. I know that I'm guilty of, and that is being tilted when things aren't going so well. So when things aren't going so well with diet, for example, just take the rest of the weekend off. I even spoke to somebody once who said things weren't going well with diet on Monday, so she was going to try again next Monday. Amazing. she was so upset on the Monday that she had blown a diet. She said, "You know what? I'm taking the rest of the week off. I'll see you next Monday." Amazing. I was not coaching this woman at the time. Just want to point out she was a random person who I saw on Instagram, which I just thought was fantastic. And I've not managed to get that heinous sin out of my mind for what has been about 3 years now. So being tilted when things aren't going so well, either in the diet or perhaps in training. When things aren't going well with training, so you get frustrated, you change your routine, you think that's it. You unfollow everybody on Instagram who you don't like anymore, and you say, that's it, I'm moving on. Screw all those people. Things aren't going well with my life, so I'm going to just lash out. So don't be tilted. Stay in control. The final sin is a broader sin, and it's zealotry. The insistence that something is working when it clearly isn't. The amount of times I've heard this before, Faz, I need to lose 20 pounds. I just need to get back on my diet. It worked great last time. To which my reply is always, well, if it worked great last time, why do you need to lose 20 more pounds? Obviously, it's because the diet didn't work, and afterwards they binged it all back on again, so technically that's not a win. So zealotry, don't insist on something working when it clearly isn't, and you're developing a cycle of wins and losses. That's a net loss because you're staying the same. Find a better way. And that could be for diet, could also be for training. If you insist on doing one set to failure and you're getting nowhere, then maybe try a bit more. It's not the work of the devil. All right. I want to know now how many sins you guys have committed. How bad are you with this? Confess your sins to Father Faz. I will be listening. I will be waiting in the comments to read your juiciest sins. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. I have been tilted. I have committed sloth. I have left the gym an absolute mess. However, there was no video evidence, and I will deny it till the very end. But I feel like I have relieved myself of that burden, and I'm better for it.